Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaking.
Tim and Amber, how did you first get connected to our church?
We first got connected just by always driving by. It did feel kind of inevitable when we wanted to get back involved in church. We had always driven past this church.
That's such a cute little church. We should go.
Yeah.
Never did.
What was your life like before getting involved in this church?
Life was not the best for us, right? We went through what we call our little dark period of not walking Jesus. Anything else?
Yeah, no, I think our life before the Lighthouse, especially for me, it was just very all self-motivated. It was all about me, my job, having fun for myself, drinking, doing drugs, doing whatever I wanted, right? And although I never stopped believing in Jesus, it was never a priority. And it wasn't until coming to the Lighthouse um, that I was just reminded of being around all these people who have a relationship with Christ as well.
It reminded
really
us.
lifted our spirits, and I think it has been night and day in just a year's time, going from where we were into loneliness to now having some of the best friends we've ever had, where we feel like we can actually share life with, and not only life but also a future, and building something together, which I think has been really beautiful.
In what ways has being part of this church helped you grow spiritually?
So we took Discipleship 101, which was a little scary at first because I was scared that I wouldn't know enough. But that's something that helped me learn so much more about Jesus and being a disciple.
I think the spiritual growth for me at the Lighthouse has really come from healing, whether it be from the men's group and the fellowship I've had here. The time I've spent here has allowed me to heal.
Is there a specific moment or experience of this church that's really impacted you?
Being able to see the leadership in this church, not only inside the building but outside the building. I tell everyone I know that the pastors and the leadership within this church are not just leaders in the church, but they are leaders outside the church. And I think that's really what's made the impact on me, is that these are godly men just through and through, and it's not an act.
You talked about the community that you found here. How have the relationships impacted your life with people, members of this church, since beginning to attend here?
The fellowship in this church has just been really great, and it's been little moments, time after time after time, that have just proved how wonderful the people are, and the men and the women that have really we've come to love in this church.
How has serving in this church impacted your walk with the Lord?
Mike Phoebus, one day, was like, "Can you sing?" I said, "I like to." He's like, "All right, come out and sing with us one night, just practice and see how you like it." And then he was like, "Okay, sing with us on Sunday." And I was, freaking out a little bit. But as I progressed in that area and went to practices and continued to sing, and I refocused on, it's not about me feeling self-conscious, it's about worshiping Jesus and helping everyone in the congregation focus on that worship and just to sing to his glory.
Remember, speed round. You got 2 floors on the elevator, and I'm getting off.
Okay.
So I regularly attend a church, but I don't serve, and I'm not really plugged in. Why should I get plugged in at a church rather than just attending?
Because like any relationship, right, you really find a lot of value in the depth of a relationship, much like a marriage or a best friend. Everybody has 1,000 Facebook friends, but I would rather have 2 guys that would be willing to open up their homes to me over 1,000 Facebook friends any day of the week.
What is the one thing you love most about this church?
We teach from the Bible. We focus on what Jesus said, what he did, and read it right from the source.
All right, last one. Again, on the elevator, 2 floors. I get in. Why should I come to the Lighthouse Church?
Yeah, I think you should come to the Lighthouse Church because you'll be able to grow your relationship with Jesus. And ultimately, that's what we're all striving for. That's where you're going to find your hope and your peace in Him.